Hey there, how's it going? I won't take up too much of your time because I know you're eager to get to the Investigamer video at hand, but I just wanted to remind you that I do have a YouTube channel, and on that channel are several videos just like this one. I do reviews, I do little miniature reviews called spotlights where I take a smaller game and I just kind of spotlight the best and worst parts of it, and I also do commentaries of games that I like to play and just general stuff like that. There's also some other people there, my friends, who I think you'll find equally as entertaining as me. So please go check out my channel. It's called Game Binge. The link is in the description below, and there's probably an annotation somewhere on here, so click that. This is your last chance, and yeah, enjoy the video. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Investigamer, and today we're going to talk about Valve. I started Investigamer with a 30-minute tribute to the franchise that saved Xbox, but now I'm going to do a 180 and talk about the godfather of PC gaming, the company responsible for Steam, the grim reaper of wallets. Motherfucking Valve Corporation. Even you console gamers probably recognize Valve's impressive dominance over the PC market by now. Not that they need recognition, I mean, every PC elitist and their mother has sucked Valve's dick a dozen times. But I'm not here to spark up a console versus PC war. I own and play both on a regular basis. What I am here to talk about is what I have long considered the low point in Valve's game-producing career. Left 4 Dead. Yeah, I know, lots of people like this game, and even point to it as one of the reasons to get a decent PC. But personally, I've always felt that it's nothing special. You grab a gun, you kill zombies, sometimes there are bosses. Even Dead Island was fresher. Oh, come on, you know it's true. And what person has honestly made the decision to buy a PC just because of Left 4 Dead character mods? If they exist, I've never met them. Nevertheless, it has been a while, so I've decided to give this spray and pray zombie thriller another shot. Time to see if it holds up to the hype. But not on Xbox. Sorry, console guys and gals, but in this particular case, it is superior on PC. What can I do? Speaking of PC, when you've got a rig like me, your first order of business is probably to dive into the video settings and crank those knobs up to full capacity. Being the Valve game that it is, of course Left 4 Dead has plenty of options. However, one option is conspicuously absent. An FOV slider. This is probably going to return for future games that I investigate, but let me make myself perfectly clear. When I say have a goddamn FOV slider in your game, it's not that hard to do, and it'll help people who have problems with motion sickness, like myself. Some of you out there probably don't even know what FOV or field of view is all about, but suffice it to say, it has to do with the size of monitor you play on and how far from the screen you sit. Sometimes it needs to be adjusted from the default in order to prevent nausea when you play for extended periods. It's not really game-breaking, but it can be annoying. Okay, enough beating around the bush. Let's get this show on the road. One aspect I love about Left 4 Dead is that jumping into a game with your friends is insanely easy. Plus, you have plenty of server options, you can start from any campaign or checkpoint you want, and you have 4 playable characters to choose from, so I guess you could say the game has me in a good mood so far. Let's see if the mood can hold up throughout the gameplay.
I heard the military was evacuating people to Riverside.
Unless anyone has a better plan, I say we head there.
Sounds good to me.
I'm the kind of guy who likes to get good news out of the way first, so here it is. Left 4 Dead does establish a pretty convincing mood when you first jump into the game. I mean, the sound design, the eerie locales, the overall initial build-up is all pretty consistent with what you'd expect from a zombie quarantine situation. It pulls me into the mood. In this way, Left 4 Dead does seem to stand up as a serious zombie game. Whether it can hold this mood and keep my attention and continue to be that serious zombie game, that remains to be seen. I guess I'll get right back to it.
Get up that ladder.
Folks, this is where the disinterest sets in for me. Is it me, or does half of this game feel like I'm firing blindly into a crowd of gray people? Yeah, it looks that way, doesn't it? I mean, I feel like I don't even have to aim half the time, and the lack of color kinda irks me. Let me ask you, sincerely, when you play this game, do you honestly feel that running from point A to point B with count 'em, four constantly talking NPCs legitimately replaces the tension of an honest-to-goodness survival horror game? Do you think it befits the zombie catastrophe plot device to be constantly overpowering this horrific horde of zombies? No, of course not. I mean, what did you expect for this ragtag attack on Zombieland adventure to be hoisted amongst the great zombie masterpieces of our age? Yeah, I mean, of course. Night of the Living Dead, 28 Days Later, Resident Evil 4, and then Left 4 Dead. No! Seriously, this game plays like a constantly moving round of horde mode on Gears of War. You don't fear the zombies so much as get pissed off at them. Tension isn't built, the mood isn't continued, and fear is completely out of the question. To get a decent understanding of what I mean, watch a movie like Event Horizon and then play this game. Now tell me which of them had your spine tingling the longest. But I know what you're thinking. And yes, I understand. This game isn't meant to be a horror game. It's meant to be a fun game. A party game. Something to get together with your buddies and have the thrill of killing zombies. I get that. I understand. So, let's examine it from that perspective, shall we? In all honesty, the missions of Left 4 Dead are, at the very least, varied. Each campaign has its own unique spin on escaping the ever-encroaching horde you're faced with. And while the game's four main characters can be annoying when they start repeating themselves, their dialogue is for the most part pretty enjoyable. So yeah, Left 4 Dead can be a pretty decent party game. It's a thrill, it's challenging, it's fun. But even as a party game, I wouldn't say it has too many levels of depth. You've got to ration health items, choose the right weapon based on your playing style, and use special items like pipe bombs and molotovs sparingly. But once those key components are out of the way, what else is there? There isn't a lot of decision making in Left 4 Dead. It's just run, kill, and survive. It's simplistic. Too simplistic in my opinion. But hey, there's still something I haven't examined about Left 4 Dead. What about team play? What about getting my buddies together and having a couple brewskis and playing the game like it's meant to be played, as a team, as a cooperative unit? You know, maybe that'll add several new levels of detail, new areas of depth never explored by man. Maybe it'll unlock the potential of this game, really turn it into something special, something to be revered. Maybe that's where all the high ratings and the praise comes in, the team play. Maybe it'll force me to take another look at the game and say, hey, that's something. Well, in order to test this, I've kidnapped two of my friends and I'm going to force them to play a campaign together. And then I'm going to watch them and see how they do and see what new levels of gameplay are brought up in this, what they can find. How much detail is hidden in the shadows of co-op. So, let's see how they're doing, shall we? Two things immediately come to mind when I watch Alex and George play. Firstly, Alex sucks at this game. Seriously, learn to use a mouse. Secondly, the game seemed less about team play and more about racing to get the most kills. Maybe that's just the way my friends are, but it certainly doesn't help that the first row of stats is the kill count, held up like this shimmering golden pedestal of victory. But I've gotta hand it to the game, it sure plays smoothly with a cooperative team. You can kinda strategize about what weapons to use for certain scenario, or where to place special items at key moments, and what bosses are coming up, and what you should prepare for. Little nuances do seem to pop up in gameplay. Is it enough to turn Left 4 Dead into a masterpiece? No, not even close. So at this point, you're probably saying to yourself, come on, Chris. Come on. It's just a harmless little zombie game, harmless little zombie shooter, little party game. Let it have its fun. This is a Valve game, ladies and gentlemen. Valve's entire gaming portfolio purports to be this amazing, crucial package of games that every PC gamer must play. Portal revolutionized puzzle games of the modern age. The second one had a masterful story that to this day remains at the top of my list. Team Fortress 2, one of the few class-based shooters out there that still has a level of depth and balance that is just incredible. It's unmatched. Do I even need to talk about Half-Life? Do I even need to mention that game? Valve has done some amazing shit, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse the fuck out of me if I expected more than this. If I expected a zombie game from Valve to be something special. Pardon me for expecting a little more than this. For expecting something a little more different. Something outside the mold, something that breaks new bounds, something that dares to inspire. An actual zombie experience that I'm promised from the zombie movies I grew up with. From watching those thrillers, those flicks, those psychological horrors, those things that builded tension and built horror within me, that made me feel heart-rending fear for those things that would walk in the night, that would come out of the ground, that would come back to life after death. Ladies and gentlemen, I expected Valve to bring us a legitimate zombie experience, and to this day I still haven't got it. To this day I still haven't played a zombie game that really made me say, that's what I saw in the movies. I just haven't. And it's a shame that Valve couldn't be the ones to fulfill that desire. But hey, yes, it's a good party game. It can be a great party game. If you have the right people, if you get together and have the right amount of fun, yes, Left 4 Dead can fulfill your night. So hey, if you like the game, if you have fun with the game, don't let me stop you. But in my opinion, Left 4 Dead remains overrated. I gave it another shot, and that's what I'm sticking to. I'm the Investigamer. Never trust the crowd, only the investigation. And seriously, isn't Dead Island so much better? Okay, I get it. Fuck you. Today on Spotlight, Little Inferno, a 2012 time waster, I mean puzzle game, where the object is to light objects on fire. And that's it. No, really, that's the entire game. That's right, folks, we've got a one-dimensional game here, but don't let that scare you away. Little Inferno is addicting as hell, and when I say addicting, I mean heroin.